Hello listeners everywhere. Welcome to the Archive of Audio Antiquities, a voyage into the vault of wonders on the wireless. In a moment, Simon Exton and Ken Moss will be here to speak to you.
Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the Archive of Audio Antiquities. I'm Ken Moss.
I'm Simon Exton.
Thank you for paying us a visit once again. This time we're listening to the first of the Ninth Doctor and Rose Big Finish Doctor Who adventures, Snare. Kevin left the Powell estate a long time ago. He wasn't going to be trapped there, but all these years later he's back and clearing out his dad's old flat. At least his neighbours the Tylers are still here. But Rose has a strange new man in her life, and this doctor's going to show Kevin a world he never knew existed. Unfortunately, something ancient is stirring on the estate. Perhaps Kevin will be trapped here after all. This was the first story in the fourth series of the Ninth Doctor Adventures from Big Finish. It was released in August 2025, written by Tim Foley, and starred Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper.
Oh my goodness!
Hello, Mrs. Tyler.
Rose! It's little Kevin from 43!
Hey, Kev. Been a while. What's wrong?
There's something seriously weird in my dad's old flat.
How weird are we talking?
Oh, of course your ears pricked up at that.
So what is it?
No idea, it's not normal though.
Neon jungle in a bathroom? Yeah, I could have told you that.
I really don't like this place, Marlene.
Few more shots and I'll call Kevin. I promise you, this is all completely fine.
So there's an extra door?
A copy of a door, a mockery of a door. See how it's blurred around the edges?
I set my teeth on edge. I don't like this.
Neither do I, but you still want to see inside, don't you?
What is it?
I'm ignoring the tentacles and focusing on the fact it's gardening. That's nice.
Did it just speak?
Is my mum going to be safe?
This is why I don't like families involved.
Doctor, and the rose that grows. Okay, you're crowding me now.
Oh no.
Mum's going to be mad it's ruined her film night.
I keep telling her that I don't want to watch Titanic. I was there. It was traumatic.
I have to admit, I was wildly excited when this was announced because it was implied that Christopher Eccleston was going to take a break from recording with Big Finish, and his stuff has been largely brilliant. I've really enjoyed his series, I think mainly because of Christopher Eccleston. He just really clearly enjoys being Doctor Who again, and his performance is just what it was on TV. The writing's not been bad. I must admit, again, what we said last time about Vampire Weekend and Overfishing a Small Pond, Tim Foley has written the start of this series as well.
Is he fucking Nicholas Briggs? Is that how he's getting all of these prime gigs? Because it ain't his writing ability.
Again, I didn't not enjoy this.
So is this the first thing that Christopher Eccleston has done for Big Finish?
No, there's 3 series before this where it's just him as the Doctor.
So the big new thing is the fact that there's Rose and Jackie along.
Yeah. And because they've got Billy Piper back and the old team are back together, it feels more like the Ninth Doctor than the previous ones have. Now, that's not to say that they've been no good. They have. They've been very good.
Well, there's no Mickey.
Well, there's no Mickey and there's no Jack. So I think the cue here is don't date Rose Tyler because the actor that plays them will get cancelled in future. Adam Mitchell, I think he got chucked off Coronation Street for something.
Did he?
Yeah. Bruno Langley, I'm fairly sure he was effectively cancelled as well. So it's obviously Rose Tyler. But I was excited for this. I thought, the old team, it's not amazing. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just bang average again. And...
Oh...
Go on.
I thought Christopher Eccleston was phoning it in. I didn't really rate his performance. The writing wasn't the Doctor. I don't know who Briggs's friend was writing for, but it wasn't the Doctor. And his first line, or one of his very first lines, "No can do, Jackie." Do you know who it reminded me of? Who I couldn't stop hearing the voice of throughout this entire thing, and it ruined it for me.
Go on.
Gordon Brittus.
Oh, no.
Yep. That whole "no can do." It didn't sound like the Doctor. It sounded like Gordon Brittus. And from that moment on, it was the Doctor played by Gordon Brittus.
Oh, damn.
I could not get beyond that. And now you're hearing it, aren't you?
Now that you say it out loud, yeah. The one thing I will say is, from the pre-credit sequence, the Doctor's first line in that credit sequence throws you into the opening titles, and it's a very Ninth Doctor line, and it's delivered by Christopher Eccleston in that way.
What's wrong?
There's something seriously weird in my dad's old flat.
How weird are we talking?
Of course your ears pricked up at that.
Hello?
Hello? Kevin, was it? I'm the Doctor.
Get back in there and finish your waffles.
Mum.
No can do, Jackie. It's weird over waffles every time.
Great start. Great. I really like that as a sort of a hook for the episode. Unfortunately, I have to agree, the Doctor actually in this is a bit of a side character, to be honest. It's not really.
I tell you, he's phoning it in. Rose was great. Jackie was absolutely brilliant. I thought she was the best thing about this.
Yeah, they got her down well, and Camille Kajuri really takes it and runs with it. She's clearly delighted at being back as Jackie.
But Jackie was a brilliant character right from the beginning.
Agreed. The one surprising thing for me was Billie Piper, actually, because at some point in the intervening years, she's had, and I'm struggling to see it on screen what exactly it is, but she's had some dental work done, and it changed the entire palate of her mouth. It's very noticeable during Series 4, less so during Day of the Doctor, but she sounded like she did in 2005 in this. So I was happy about that, because your mouth does change as you get older. It was nice to hear. I don't know what sort of order these were recorded in, whether they're recorded in sort of release order, but sometimes they take a while to bed back into the rhythms. They weren't bad. I just think that they could do to...
Which is what rehearsals are for.
Oh, that's true, but you've seen it with plenty of series where...
It's not a question of finding the character. It's not a question of going into it right from the word go. And, sort of when Davison started, they recorded For to Doomsday first, so that by the time they were recording Castrovalva, he would be settled in the role. But this isn't a new role for any of them. They should be able to come back in and, with rehearsal, be back to the way they were before, because this is their job.
I agree to an extent, but with the best will in the world, as a series goes on, you re-find each other's rhythms. I've been there myself, but they're acting together in a completely different medium. So although on telly they had each other's physicality to bounce off.
And this is why you have rehearsals.
Agreed, but there's only so much you can do. I'll say this much, the 10th Doctor and Donna stuff, they hit the ground running with that. That sounds very much like the 10th Doctor and Donna on TV. This, I think, will need one or two to bed in. I also think it will need stronger scenes between them.
What it needs is a better writer.
Again, I'm not going to disagree. I'm not mad. Just because somebody can churn out a lot doesn't mean that it's all top notch. You really needed somebody to get hold of this, and kapow. Your first one or two need to be some of your strongest. Mid-series, that's when you bury all the average ones, and you get to around episode 9 or 10, that's where you drop in your weakest episode before kapow finale. That's just how series work. This was a pretty weak one to start with. Like I said, not bad, but there was just nothing. I found myself actually getting a bit bored by this.
And the other thing is, it was an incredibly visual story that doesn't come across on audio.
Not entirely, no.
No, not at all. I got no feeling at all of this alien jungle thing.
I'm sort of with you on that. The sound design could have been stronger. And the one thing that they never do, they're always really tentative about, is the TARDIS background noise. In all their audios, it's really quiet. Beef that up a bit. Because you need to be enveloped by the TARDIS. When they're in the console room, that is the hook of the entire story. Every story. Where have we landed? What are we doing? Get that TARDIS noise to bathe the scene. You can be a lot more brave with it than they are. They've done this a lot over the years. That's a real sound editor's niggle, that. But yeah, be brave with the sound. And that doesn't mean just ramping up the music and effects and bangs and whistles and boom, bang. That's not what I mean at all. But be braver with your effects. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't actually hear any difference between the way the background sounded in the flat and the way the background sounded in the alien ship. There should have been a very big, very noticeable difference.
Agreed, yes. Again, it's a minor criticism, but it's certainly not limited to this release. They are doing their best to emulate the periods that the stories are made in. Certainly with the advent of Tom Baker's era on audio, they really tried to emulate certainly the incidental music, and that worked because some of the incidental music in those Fourth Doctor stories could have been recorded by Dudley Simpson. It was very good. With these newer ones, you're trying to emulate Murray Gold. That's a tall order. And certainly with the 13th Doctor Adventures, you've got Segan Akinola. Now, if you're going to go that far, get Segan Akinola. Spend the money on it. And at the end of this one, you've got the theme music kicks in. And then there's that horrible gap in the theme that's been designed to slot in a trailer for the next release. You really would have beefed up the verisimilitude if you'd had a trailer for the next release embedded within the end credits like the TV series. I'd love to hear that done because I think it would really work. Quite a bit of effort, but it would be worth it. Again, wow.
Is all of that just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic of a fairly ropey story?
That's a fair point, but let's be honest, Doctor Who over the years has had a lot of things that are style over substance. And, you can polish these things and just help it along.
It was very meh. Eccleston didn't seem to have any particular enthusiasm for him. The writing that made me think of Gordon Brittas right the way through really didn't help. But if Eccleston had been putting in a more dynamic performance, I think it would have shook me out of that. And he didn't, and it didn't. The soundscape was so watered down as to be almost unnoticeable. Apart from Rose and Jackie, there really wasn't anything in this other than meh.
I can't disagree, unfortunately. Yeah, as you said last time, Big Finish, do better. Let's rate this in earworms.
This is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends.
It's another 5, I'm afraid. I didn't not enjoy it, but I should have been more gripped than I was. If it wasn't for the TV series regulars, I don't think I'd have been half as invested in this as I was. Yeah, it's not the strongest start to a series. Yourself?
I was bored by big chunks of this. 4.
Again, it's the old thing. If I start reaching for my phone when I'm listening to something, that's a bad sign. And I did.
And they'll continue singing it forever just because.
It's time to recommend something else. It's Podcast of the Week.
I'm going to recommend something that is very new Who, camp and entertaining. It is Doctor Who seen through a queer eye. It is Who La La.
Oh my God, what the hell is that?
It's a Doctor Who podcast.
Expand.
Well, it's very entertaining. 2 gay lads talk about Doctor Who stories from a queer perspective.
That actually sounds like it could be a lot of fun.
It is. Give it a go.
Next time, it's all aboard as we review the BBC Radio 4 comedy series Route Masters. I don't know anything about this, apart from that it's set on London buses.
Time-travelling London buses.
Time-travelling. And I'm reminded of Time Busters with Michael Troughton, which is why I was quite convinced that Michael Troughton was in it, but it's not.
No, it's Dan Freeman and Nick Romero, the people who were behind the genius that is ectoplasm. And they were both involved in Death Comes to Time, aren't they?
I think so. Certainly Dan Freeman was, yeah. I'm sure Nick Romero's name's somewhere on the credits. But yeah, I will look forward to that. So we'll be listening to the entire first series of it.
Only series. There were only ever 4 episodes of it.
This smacks very much of ectoplasm, doesn't it? Until next time, thank you, as always, for paying us a visit. If you want to listen along, I'm sure there are episodes out there on some sort of proprietary streaming site. But otherwise, we'll be back next month with Route Masters. Ta-ta.
Bye now.
The archive of audio antiquities featured Simon Exton and Ken Moss, and the announcer was Jenny at Blue Box 99. All featured soundtracks are the property of their respective producers, and no infringement of copyright is intended. Title music was by Edward White, and the programme was produced by Maverick Productions. For more information, please visit maverickproductionsuk.blogspot.com or find us on social media.